Yeah. Hey, Let Job. I'm doing my first live stream for all like 9 of my subscribers. I think it's like 10. And I love each of you so much because you're fucking brave. Uh, but it's still easier for me to talk to you this way. And also it makes me feel like I'm actually talking to you a little bit more literally this way. And that feels nice when you're talking to a fucking camera. Uh, if you hear any whiling, it's because my family's, I want to say celebrating, but really they're just being themselves. You know what? They are celebrating. They're celebrating uh, just a time of uh, the year and like, I don't know, cycles and shit where uh, they're hanging out and uh, laughing more. And that's how they're talking. So anyways, I got some family over and they're wicked. So if you hear like people aren't dying, that's what the way my family sounds. Uh, Passion sounds like arguing uh, to folks that weren't allowed to raise their voice in their household or told, that it means angry. I only say that because that's been so much experienced by me. But I digress. Happy New Kin. Yeah. Give me a reason to celebrate anything. And uh, I'll probably take it if I like you. And who needs, like, feeling good feels good for its own reason. I'm mostly stimulated to make this video uh, because the kin rolled over, and I want like talk a little bit about that, just to, like a little quick blurb about what that can mean and feel, and what it and its potential, but also uh, I'm a part of Luna Ash's community, and uh, she put one of her wicked like little like music video um, energy truth uh, transmissions up that inspired me, which is completely ordinary in terms of her videos effect or activation in me, in that it would be extraordinary for me to not be inspired or activated. But I usually fuck off and do my own thing. Uh, in a way, I'm still kind of doing that. But what it looks like now is sharing more information. Because the way I've been sharing information before is by using it. You look back at this and be like, I know what he means now, but I don't know what you mean. um, and what I was inspired to say, because I've been getting my own downloads uh, of prescient information. Yeah. Uh, as the 2019 being the rise of the divine feminine, and what a part of, I don't even want to call it manipulation anymore, because like how the how do you teach teach quantum physics to someone who doesn't speak your language? And uh, doesn't know the basics of uh, chemistry or physics. Like you kind of gotta teach them some things So you can use those things to teach them the things you really want to teach them. And that goes for a lot with s- smart people in a mean world. If I'll use the M word, you make basic information like ubiquitous to the point that it's boring. You make it boring, and then uh, you make bullshit uh, bullshit math or bullshit symbols, uh, bullshit rituals. You dress that up as the advanced version of a thing. Like, uh, all mathematical physics is not physics. It's uh, it's math, and there's no such thing as math. Like, math is just uh, the illusion of physics. Because physics is like, and you can explain quantum mechanics uh, to someone that doesn't know physics mathematically. When if because they have their life experience, so you can explain physics using physics, and then physics is the study of uh, relatability. All that to say, what was I saying? All that to say, the rise of the divine feminine is in part the latest way of seeing, way of perceiving, and way of initiating and creating that we had to get to then postulate, theorize, or even just be open to to receiving and then believing as to like the next kind of truth, because uh, all is all is one. Uh, all can all can be described uh, in polarity, and everything has gender. If expressed as everything has, I want to say like, gender is basically the just like the two least amount of parts that it takes to create something new. Something combined with something that's the same. It doesn't even add into something that's the same, because on the most basic level, if you add the same thing to the same thing, that's combining. And at a more fundamental layer, uh, it's like if the whole universe was ocean, and the ocean was saltless and made up of just, I'm just going to say hydrogen. Just run with the just one thing. Then it would never have anything to combine with. or add or subtract. You can't create something out of one thing. So, all is gender. Happy New Year. Rise of the Feminine. The latest development, especially as a divine feminine and a divine masculine. Is 2018 and 2019, and this cycle in divinity is the rise of the feminine by virtue of her being lifted up by the divine, by the reinstatement of the true divine masculine. What do I mean? And why are you taking this away from us? See what I mean? You have to learn certain things before you're able to like perceive and how that can be like. There's just like, if everything's gender and gender creates, then if people really know the truth of that and they embrace it, they'll create shit and you can't control them. So fuck, we can't take gender away. Gender's a thing. Is there any way we can make them hate each other? Is there any way we can pit them against each other? Is there any way we can just make it hard for them to create? Turns out lots. So, and the lifting up of the divine feminine is, what do you do when someone trips? And you're like right beside you. If you've got a soul, you pick them up. Now, what if someone pushes someone and the person that got pushed falls beside you? You really fucking pick that person up. Like, no brainer. What if someone gets pushed beside you and the pushed and the pushee are both beside you? That depends what else is beside you. But when it doesn't depend, is you look, you evaluate, and then you deal with the immediate threat. You can't kill the divine feminine. You can't, straight up, you can't take truth. You can't hide. You can't. Part of the divine feminine's aspect is her beauty, her persistibility, her it takes two to create. The only reason I hesitate at all to say this next really obvious thing is that uh, it takes more time. When you say something obvious, after, fucking da-da-da, like I just did, it stops being obvious. It lends it uh, true gravity, and by that I mean force, energy. Because I'm not saying the obvious thing after it being the first thing that popped into my head. I searched the universe, and the most obvious thing was still the best way to put it. And and that's where the babies come from. Everything is made from the divine feminine, in a way. So if you want to create, you can't hide her. You can't you can't take her away. You can't take her out of creation. But it takes two to tango. Could you take one masculine away and replace him with another? Why would you do that? Why don't you just take one divine feminine and replace the divine feminine with another? What if you eat feminine energy? What if you need it to survive? What if you don't know any divine feminines? Like that's an easier question to answer. But the point is, you can replace the masculine, potentially. And that's what happened. In a way, her true partner was imprisoned and replaced. The masculine has not been divine for thousands of years. But archetypally, symbolically, hierarchically, like God, and then work your way down, the energy, responsibility, entity of the divine masculine hasn't been an asshole. And didn't walk out. He got beat to an inch of his life. But you can't kill the creator. Which means you can't, unless you're the creator. So you can't destroy something of God. That was my attempt to not use a pronoun because I wanted to say she, but then I digress. I just did it. So you try to kill it, and then you chain it up for what you will believe is eternity, because you're stupid and you think you're smarter than God. That's a simple equation of like, that's just stupid. And then we'll call it the masculine of tyranny. So you jump the divine masculine when he's not looking, or more likely, you abuse his naivety and stab him in the back or something like that. Anyways, you somehow manage to take down this "I'ma fuck you up" energy. You somehow manage that. The end of that sentence, "I'm gonna fuck you up if you touch if you touch her, the divine feminine." And to get to her, you have to go through me. So somehow you manage that, and then you beat the divine feminine into an inch for life, and then you Stockholm syndrome that shit. And because Sophia is wisdom, you can't, but you never stop trying. You can create some like things that look like females to be like, look, it's working. You should be a woman like that. It's like that's not. I don't know what that is, but that's not me. The creation of and creation act. Creation, everything is made of the divine feminine, and placed with the most love and the most delicate, and most delicately by the divine masculine. Not because he's better at it, but when it comes to times, and if a thing can be dangerous, if a thing needs to be created but shouldn't be created to truly last long, right? If a thing can possibly, to that type of energy, be dangerous, the divine masculine protects the divine feminine, and the divine feminine protects him, and they're both fierce warriors. The divine masculine he just is not as nice. So he's willing to do worse shit if it means expressing his love, because he loves less shit. But all of creation is the masculine's love for the feminine. God so loved the world Sometimes when I pause, and you can see it on my face, I'm trying to figure out how to say the next thing I want to say to truly convey what I mean and give you the opportunity still to learn and teach yourself under our overstanding. And what just happened is sometimes people fucking talk too much in a row. And when you get to like a good thought, like loving her, the world, and especially the divine feminine in it, all of her, you shut the fuck up and you sit in that a little bit. And you can't take that out of guys in the same way. That's why, like, oh, guys don't talk. Guys don't. No, like, you can fucking subjugate us too, but what if it could be a car or our duty, but talking less ultimately is feeling love more, and that's been like locked away. That's like not even really been accessible until today, because time's not real, and it's always today, and now is forevermore. Experiment, complete, justice, paid, and those fucking who? I can't remember. What was it? Like, oh, we'll still use the term the masculine tyrannosaur, but it's hard to remember because they've already been erased. So 2018 and 2019 is the return of the divine wedding, where wed until death do us part is only half the sentence. The other half is and when we live again, we restart. Because I love you right now, all the way. That's forever. It's forever and ever. And that wasn't there. That was locked away. Because you can't teach men to be good men from a cave under a prison on a fake moon 4 or 5 planets away. But evil is really just stupid. And things got out of hand. Fair enough. But good guys always have more friends than bad guys. You can't, like, it's impossible to hide a good guy away forever. And the Divine Feminine is so beautiful, and I am the most proud of that half of me. I'll use half because it's funny to me. Okay, I'll tell you the joke. It's funny to me because half of, if you put them together, the one and the one, you get 11. And half numbers aren't a thing. Decimal? What's the point? Why don't we just, like, make them their own kind of whole number? Make them make sense. But that's another conversation. God doesn't divide things more than the only time things are divided is when more is created. Only. And the only thing worth creating, creation, is love. So I'm definitely not 5.5 or 1/2. Stupid math. Dumb. Also spelling science SC instead of PSY. And I'm the most proud of that aspect of me. And for a long time, I split that into, talk about twin flames in a day. Because there was no divine masculine that I wanted any part of. So I took the divine feminine in me unconsciously and split it into 2 because hers was the love in my life. So things that I thought where the masculine part of me was the strength and amazing awesomeness of the feminine, until he broke through. And I can happily announce, share and continue to create. Because it ripples through time in my whole life. He's been with me. The true Father God to the true Mother Goddess is free. And he loves you so much. And he's pissed. But his pissed is nothing like the tyranny of the masculine fake god that has been running the halls. He thought so for all these, 1,000 years. Time always gets quotations now. The masculine's pissed is, going back to the example that I used earlier, someone shoves someone, what do? You got a soul, you pick them up. Someone, if that person's beside you, the shover and the shovee, everyone's just fucking, it's all happening in front of you. Like, you look, are you gonna be okay? The person that fell, yeah, you survive? Cool. Look, and then you fucking deal with the threat. Because fuck with me, okay, I'm gonna give it all I got. But I will always have way more than I've got when I'm doing it for her. So his pissed isn't revenge, it's even and never again. And that's what's happened. The true masculine God, Father aspect is free. And he's fucked people up. And erased them. And it doesn't, there's no grudge, no remorse, no, do I have to? And is not, and like not even glad to. It's what gets done because I love you. And so he's here to put fucking things back in order. And the top priority of that list is always almost whatever the Divine Feminine wants. Only because sometimes she wants to not get what she wants. The masculines are the same thing too, but we actually just get refused, legit. Sometimes, so no one has to play a sexy game for that. And then right after whatever she wants is what she thinks is best, because the Divine Feminine is super wise and connected and intuitive. The feminine is the center, the masculine, the pseudo circumference. The masculine knows the most how to deal with the chaos the further into the chaos we get. But the Divine Feminine, in her wisdom and intuition, will always have insight into what's most important, and that's what we have already. The chaos is only cool and interesting and adventurous and important in relation to loving us more. It's not even what we've got, it's what we are. It's like loving who we are more is why we go into the chaos. So yeah, whatever she wants, and then ask her for her advice first thing. And then go fucking do it. And the Divine Feminine, the important things to learn are hard to get by, which is why I'm at 41 minutes, and live stream, sure, if you pop in or whatever, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm like, oh, see ya, 0. All good. In fact, it's like my preference. So chances are, if you watch this, you are a real thing in your reality, because if you're not watching this, then there's no question. Why did I say if? I had to figure it out. If you're still watching this and you've been along with me, that's hard. Unless I'm like super popular. In which case, have you been paying attention? What did I just say? How would you say it in your own words? That's the point. Maybe, because this is the truth of life. This is how we learn together. The Divine Feminine is the energy of say things simply. Like teach through ease, by free flowing. Whereas the masculine is the rain in your fucking face instead of a gentle breeze. All good things worth doing are hard. The best of life is strived for. My goal is to have the least amount of viewers, the least amount of people get to my videos as possible. Because if that number gets to be a lot, I'm either doing something wrong or a lot of people have worked really hard to learn hard things about themselves. And they've had to work through their self-uncertainty. And I'm only entertaining when you get to know me, or spend time with me, or like me for other reasons when I'm an ass. And so you're like, that's a kind of entertaining, he's such an ass. Because linear time is done. It's not a thing. To learn a thing the quickest, That's you. That's you see, I wasn't really planning on this. That's you. That's new you. And to go from here to there, how the fuck does that make sense? Like, how does that make sense? This is a good example of how linear time is fucking stupid. Okay? How does this make sense when, obviously now I'm gonna show you it makes sense. What part of this straight line makes sense to go from that to that? Right? If you want to be more than a straight line, you gotta figure it out until it becomes you. And the way you figure it out is you do things sometimes that aren't it. And then you do things that are it in different ways until you're like, oh, okay, all those things are inside me. I can now choose this new I want to be. Because with great power comes great responsibility. All of us are creators. We are co-creating. And I don't want stupid people knowing how to do things. And there's two ways you avoid that happening. You be secretive, or you teach in a manner where that's the most honest, which is not telling, but creating an environment that is conducive to the fastest way to learn something. You figuring it out. And so maybe a morsel I'll give you. You can receive like a kiss. And that's the best thing. The Divine Feminine deserves it. Never mind for what she's been through. You deserve it every time. All the time. Whenever it doesn't bug you. And I will kiss a Divine Masculine any day, any day, any night, because we all deserve love, and expressed in a lot of ways. You know, I kiss a masculine doesn't mean I want to create with him or have that kind of fun. Depends on the kiss. But see, like, ambiguity and ask questions is my favorite thing. The morsel is a kiss because I love you. And that's the secret to do anything. That's the reason. That's the word. You do it because I love you. And the rise of us, the masculines and the feminines, and heaven on earth, God's kingdom. The secret power is everything we do is for love. And love isn't a thing. I love you. Is how I gets to you in love. And we all deserve a kiss for what we've been through and for to celebrate that love. And a woman picking herself up is bullshit. You deserve to be lifted. So when, as the Father God returns with his divine wife, if wife can be life with a symbol that connects the end or beginning of him to her. Right? It's like just another. It's like an L and another L turned backwards because that's what he is now in relation to her. Yeah, and both of our divinities to lift up the downtrodden. It's the masculine's divine passion and like raison d'être to raise her up, and yeah, you deserve to be put on a pedestal. The man kneeling turned into like Hollywood ceremony, turned into jewelry, diamond, marketing, campaign, like taking the love out of everything. And the most sinister thing is just flipping the power relationship there. Because like, I ask you to marry me. Like, what's the social repercussions for saying no? What's the percentage? What's the story you're gonna tell people? Like, are you really asking me, or do I gotta say yes and then say no after? When really, a man kneels to a woman in humility, and uh, and he's not asking her so much as offering himself. It's not, will you marry me? In our differences, we're actually more equal height than we've been bred to be, or encouraged to be, or encouraged to see. Because if you look around, we're all generally the same height, but we just we're supposed to appreciate certain heights, so it appears to be more or less depending on what you are and what you should be. But it's not. A man kneels in reverence and respect and humility and a hierarchy. Will you marry me? No. That's not even, that's fake talk. That's not real language. Will you? Don't talk about what someone else's will do. You get down on one knee and you're like, it's my will to be bound. If in your heart of hearts you believe that I'm who I know I am to you, and if you'll have me, I'm yours. Like, I'm yours already, and if you'll have me, I'd like to perform a ceremony of potency, declaring universally and manifestedly that bond but I'm gonna get up now or eventually, but if you'll marry me, I'm always gonna be on one knee. Or that's what it could look like, because the true height of me, like from here to here, is actually my love for you. So I gotta kneel. And if you say yes, I'll always be that tall. Numbers are consciousness and units of belief, creating really this Ken year is red cosmic moon. That's kin 169, year 2018, in the Julian, Gregorian, and or still useful for us in some kind of magic way. That's why we're still using it. Number tracking system. The galactic signatures are the patterns of creation. Which includes dissolution, which is the more accurate form of expressing destruction. It's the pattern, there's patterns to transmutation. And like there's so much that changes just a little bit that next year's kin number, I'm just trying to do it in math. I'm just like, I'm almost positive it's like something, it's not like 170, just the way that the days work. It doesn't roll over evenly. In fact, I know that now. Now that I said it out loud. So like, red cosmic moon 169 is unique in 260. Like it's only one in 260. Its signature is composed of like, is it like 5 different aspects, or is it like 8 that express itself uniquely? Red cosmic moon is not red resonant. And then that combination with the day, like what day is it today? It's not red cosmic, oh actually it is red cosmic moon day. Or I think it's after, no, it's still red cosmic moon day. The fucking moon is out. Whoa. But it's like day to day things can be so different, but over enough time, patterns exist, because how do you take a shit? Like, you got a system? How often do you change that system? Exactly. There's patterns, there's order, there's best ways. And if you pay attention to it, it's not predicting things. You fall in line, and you you gladly like get the information from whatever the process is above you, and you use that with wisdom to order the process below you. Because patterns, repeating, is not same. That's circular 1260 deceptive time reasoning. It'll never be like this again today, but time is not a thing. Don't be attached, be present, because part of the reason it'll never be quite like today is because of the way you create it. And kin 169, year 2018 to 2019, those numbers are like mixing in a way that makes sense. especially to you. And the galactic signature is like what day of the week. There's these tones and what month is it and things like this, right? So I know more than I'm telling you. Figure it out if you've got questions. Don't ask me. If you ask me stupid questions in the comments, like provided people ever watch these videos on YouTube, I will probably have read it. I will have definitely read it. But if I don't reply, I'm not good at it. I don't. But actually, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll create a system where I'll just be like search bar, because I don't want to say Google. Like, before you take up someone's time, figure it out. Be nice. Be kind. And if you don't have a soul, you're definitely not still watching this. Unless everyone is. And enough time has passed that the environment is different, and maybe there's a chance for new things to grow. Because 169 is endure in order to purify. Transcending flow. I, Kin 169, seal the process of universal water with the cosmic tone of presence. On a scale of 1 to 13, cosmic is 13. I am guided, because we're all guided, by a power, an inspiration. 169 is I'm guided by the power of space. This is Kin 260, which if I put out words of my mouth whenever it's the Kin rollover day, every Kin rollover day will always be 260. But not every year is 169. So 260 is yellow cosmic sun. Always. Endure in order to enlighten. I. Transcending life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by flowering. In addition, I'm a galactic portal. Enter me. 169260. I think it's like day 4th month, 9th day, or 8th. And endure in order to purify, endure in order to enlighten. Out of 260, maybe 13, maybe how many start with endure in order to anything? How many because endure in order is nothing either. Endure is one thing, order is another. Like Kin 169, 2018, 2019, year of the return of the divine. 6 and 7 years after 2012, 6 and 7, 8 after 2011, 2 or 1 before 2020. Like, a lot is beautiful together by design. And this year, we endure in order to purify, and the end of every kin is to endure in order to enlighten. Enlighten sounds like a really good thing you want to do after you purify. It's like a good order. Transcending flow, transcending life. I seal the process of universal water. I seal the matrix of universal fire. I seal it with the cosmic tone of presence. Two kins, one eye. Guided by the power of space, guided by flowering. And then I'm a galactic portal entering. Like 169, this is your year to access the galactic portal. And then red is east, yellow is south, initiates, refines, transforms, ripens. Red initiates in the east. And yellow ripens. One's the beginning and one's the end of a process. So one's so the red cosmic moon initiates the yellow cosmic sun. The yellow cosmic sun ripens what's initiated by the cosmic moon in a way. But invest your attention. The red is initiating the white. The north is initiating the west, is refining the west. And what's being ripened in the south was blue this week and this year in this part of something that's really actually in the first way. When time's not a thing, that's a big deal. Year, epoch, way of keeping and releasing. I told you so much. I hope it was hard enough to understand. I love you. Happy New Kenya. You deserve that the divine feminine needs to do this on her own is the last lie from the fake masculine, not the masculine that was subjugated, because like the masculine wasn't evil and then we're reforming him. Again, you can replace the feminine, but you can replace the masculine if you almost kill him and lock him away. And the father figure was replaced, and he's gone now, almost forgotten. And the last thing I want you to care about enough to change is you don't need to do anything on your own. You don't have to prove anything. You are the divine feminine. You're the closest thing to the reason for everything. And maybe the last hardest thing, because I know I've had to heal it as a divine feminine and divine masculine, is the rightness in helping each other. The rightness in not doing it on your own. It's not asking for help. It's not letting you help me, me help you. It's not, it's cosmic. It's the order. It's God's love. It's the word. It's all. It's one. Everything will do. And we should try. Because I love you. Namaste. The most I love you. Doubt it only when you want to be stupid. I love you.